Infinity Ward is revealing even more content releasing in Modern Warfare 2, classic maps from old games releasing in this game, future DLC content, and much more. We're going to go through all of this in today's video. Be sure to subscribe for more content videos like this. We're super close to 110,000 subscribers. Really do appreciate it, guys. But first up here, let's go through this interview. They're revealing a lot of future plans and how they make maps and what they're planning on bringing back. And we're going to also talk about the expansion pack, of course, what maps we're going to see here, if those maps are going to be wholly brought over to Modern Warfare 3 later this fall. We'll go through all of that in this video. But first up here for the interview, Modern Warfare 2 devs tease return of a classic map CDL pros tested ahead of a launch. With the launch of Modern Warfare 2 last October, COD fans got to explore 10 brand new maps never before seen in the iconic FPS franchise. Some have certainly gone down better than others, but through all the feedback, devs have continued rolling out more and more fresh locations, which may be a bit of a debate there, a bit arguable. Season 1, we saw Shipment return alongside Modern Warfare 2019's Shoot House. 2 maps, again, we already saw. I wouldn't say that's necessarily fresh. Season 2 saw Valeris Museum return from the beta after some legal issues. Again, cool map overall, not my favorite, definitely not fresh, along with the return of Dome. Again, another solid map for MW3, but not exactly fresh. And a new locale in the Himmelmet Expo, which is, I'll give them that, a uniquely made map, which I actually kind of like. Most recently, Season 3 brought in Albaron Hatchery, not the best map whatsoever. Black Gold is okay, Paleo's Lighthouse, okay as well, all as a standard 6v6 MP map. So with a mix of classics back in rotation, revamped layouts in focus for a new generation of players, and entirely original layouts to top it off, we spoke with 2 senior devs at Infinity Ward to find out how they strike a balance while getting all sides of the community satisfied. In their response, they shared a subtle teaser on what fans can expect from one particular edition in the near future, and they talk about just maps in general, which is super cool. We're bringing an older one back that some CDL guys, they really liked when they were at our office. We pivoted around, and that's coming pretty soon, probably as soon as Season 4, multiplayer design director Jeff Smith told us. Now, exactly what this map might be, we couldn't quite get them to spill the beans, but given the comment, it's safe to assume fans won't have to wait too long to find out, given Season 4 is just around the corner, set to kick off on June 14th. This could mark the re-debut of said classic map, though given the delay from when pro players tried it out pre-launch last year all the way through to today, it begs the question why Infinity Ward held off on its release for so long. It turns out it boils down to strategy and perception more than anything. This is very interesting. So there's power and nostalgia of bringing those back. Smith continued, to be honest, there's good fun gameplay there. It's kind of silly to not use into those and lean into the strengths of those maps. Kind of a broken record, but it's also this balance between brand new stuff and something that's familiar, which I think is completely fair. You definitely want to have a balance between new content in terms of MP, newly made MP maps, but also bringing back remakes that people want to play. That balance is pretty key there. Even when we do new maps, people will say, oh, I didn't like this other map was way better. It feels almost like it takes some time to get used to something new. Then suddenly, 2 years later, they're like, oh man, Hackney Yard was a great map, which I don't know how many people are saying that, but Hackney Yard was okay, I guess. But during the launch of it, you're like, that was a piece of crap. You build those memories with your friends, and eventually you have these rose-tinted glasses of these maps. So honestly, the example isn't the best. I don't think many people are going to go back to these games like Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2019, and even MW2 right now and say, man, that was such a classic map. But what he's saying here is actually very accurate. When the new game comes out and new maps are out, COD fans are always going to find a way to hate on the new content and say the previous game was better. When Black Ops 3 came out, those MP maps were out. People were saying that the Black Ops 2 maps were so much better. Even when Black Ops 2 came out, a lot of people don't remember, when BO2 first came out, it didn't actually get the best reception. You know, it was a game that was compared to BO1. BO1 Zombies, 100% better. BO1 MP, so much better. The maps are so much better. People didn't like the futuristic setting, and, you know, BO2 wasn't a legendary game when it first came out. So this happens every single year. So I understand what he's saying, but recently, at least in my opinion, the maps have not been too good. Modern Warfare 2019, Vanguard, even some of the Cold War maps were better, but not my favorite, and MW2 this year, most of them are just not good. The layouts are very weird, very different from what we had ever seen before in previous COD games. So I get what he's saying here. I completely agree. People love to hate on the new content. It happens now, but nowadays it's almost a bit more justified in a sense, but I get what he's saying here. So for some more stuff on this, as part of their mission with the revamped Modern Warfare series, devs didn't want to simply rely on old staples from top to bottom. I completely get that there. While there's certainly a spot for them to exist in today's games, the team strive to establish a new stable of maps above all. Co-design director of MP, Joe Seacott, explained, make sure we're leaning in and trying new things at launch. And post-launch is when we look at bringing old maps back. We brought back Shoot House and Shipment, but really, it's important we're bringing something new. We're evolving. We're making new content. It's a new game. It's not just a bunch of remastered maps, which again, I completely agree with. I understand. What's very weird, though, is that we have a game called Modern Warfare 2 that doesn't have a single remade MW2 map for 6v6. You have some locations on Al-Mazrah, which is cool, but very weird decision to not have at least a single MW2 remade map on this game. Definitely doesn't make a lot of sense in my eyes. For now, we'll simply have to wait and see what classics are left on the roadmaps ahead for the remainder of the MW2 cycle. Rest assured, we'll keep you posted right here with any further details as they emerge. So again, I agree and understand with most of the thought process and the understanding of these devs here. They want to make, for the most part, new content. They want to evolve, make new stuff, and not wholly rely on remasters. And sometimes, especially post-launch, you had some remakes back for the nostalgia. I completely get that, but for the most part, are these new MW2 maps, MW19 maps, are these maps that are really evolving us into the future? Or are these just like weirdly designed maps that almost have a mixture of Battlefield mixed in and just like a game that isn't Call of Duty? I know a lot of people like different styles of maps, and I'm not saying we should go back to all 3-lane BO2 style maps. I prefer those maps, but I'm not saying we should do that. We should have a good variety, but it seems like all the maps nowadays are just like this new IW style of MP map where you have 100 lanes, 100 different camping spots, sniper vantage points everywhere. Albaran Hatchery, great example. The new map looked cool, and I was getting clowned on Twitter for saying it looked cool because the trailer looked interesting, looked like a cool map. But then when you play the map, the center of the map is so open. You have a huge roof where there's a million snipers. You can't cross the map unless there's not a sniper there. I mean, that is not a fun map to play on. I mean, that's not a fun map design at all. Maybe on a certain edge of the map, if you stay there, you're good, but I don't get how that's evolving personally. Maybe you guys like Albaran Hatchery, but I feel like Albaran Hatchery, not a good map, and it's definitely not a map people will look back on and say, man, I miss that classic map, Albaran Hatchery. And I don't care that's from the campaign, because a lot of MP maps, zombie maps, are cut from campaign missions of old Call of Duty. So that's not why I don't like it. It's more of the base layout in general. So again, I get what the devs are saying there. People love to hate the new content. Anytime a new update, COD comes out, people are going to hate it no matter what, even if it's not that bad. It is what it is. But the new maps are getting here. It's hard to not be frustrated with what we're getting. And again, with a game called MW2, not seeing any actual MW2 remakes, very weird. Now, obviously, for the MW2 remake side of things, there are so many leaks about MW2 maps returning and an expansion pack, which we were supposed to get for fall 2023. That's going to be most likely, almost guaranteed, transferred over into Modern Warfare 3. It seems like what their plan is to release all these old MW2 maps in this game for year 2, but they're going to put it for MW3, and it's going to end up not making a lot of sense having a whole collection of MW2 maps on a game called MW3, but it is what it is here. We've had leaks, of course. I mean, just let's start off with Al-Mazrah, first of all, because we are getting at least one remake for MW2 this year, which of course they confirmed in this interview that CDL pros already tested out before the launch of the game. Before we go through a bunch of these classic MW2 maps we could be seeing here released very soon, we have a quick word from the sponsor of today's video. Injured and don't know where to start with Morgan & Morgan? It's so easy. They're a modernized law firm that makes dealing with injuries or accidents super easy and stress-free. Submitting a claim is very simple. With Morgan & Morgan, you could submit a claim without ever having to leave your couch. It's all done on your phone. In 8 clicks or less, you could submit a claim to Morgan & Morgan. You could submit case details, sign contracts, upload documents, and even contact your attorney all from your phone. Getting into an accident can be a pain, literally, but hiring an attorney should be one of the first things you do. If you're ever injured in an accident, you could check out Morgan & Morgan. You could submit a claim in 8 clicks or less without having to leave your couch. For more information, go to forthepeople.com or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. At least from Al-Mazrah, we have Terminal, we have Quarry, we have Showdown from COD 4, High Rise, of course, on Al-Mazrah, we have Afghan, we have Dome from MW3, we have an interesting one, Newville from COD 1, which a lot of people probably don't know about. Shipment, of course, off the coast of the map there. We have Storm as well, and that's pretty much it here. So chances are we're going to get one of these maps as a classic remade map in this game. But again, the leaks said originally that we're going to get every single MW2 2009 map remastered. Again, most of these will probably be in MW3, but we could get from that OG list as well. So I'll run through the rest of these maps from that previous game there, back from 2009. We have Derail, Estate, which is kind of in the Paleo's Lighthouse map, but not entirely. Just the cabin was remade. We have Favela, of course, Invasion, Karachi, we have Rundown, Rust, which we've seen a couple times before. It's kind of in Al Mazrah as well, but not entirely. Scrapyard, Skid Row, Subbase, Underpass, and Wasteland. So let me know down below, what maps do you want to see brought into this game? Most, if not all of these maps will most likely be at some point during MW3 this year. Obviously, the expansion pack is probably already made and ready to release. A lot of them will just be in the next game, but we may get some in this year's title as well. So let me know down below what exactly you want to see here. But again, very weird stuff. If only they had released all of these maps throughout the year, some at launch for the CDL pros, some during the year for us, new maps as well. And then for MW3 this year, they focused on new maps, new content, of course, but also, you know, bringing back MW3 maps as well from that game. That would have made a lot of sense. That would have been perfect, but of course, it doesn't always turn out like we kind of want to turn out there. But regardless, man, we'll see what ends up happening. I'm still excited to see what we get. As I said, I still want to see what we're getting from MW3. I still want to know what the game's going to be like. I'm always excited for the new COD. I'm going to play it. You know, chances are I'm going to have fun, but I just hope it's a fully fledged COD. I hope we get some MW3 remakes as well. Hopefully these MW2 remakes release too, because I definitely enjoy playing on the old maps. I like new content, but I'm also completely down to play on some remasters as well. So let me know down below your opinions on this stuff here. These IW interviews are very interesting, very insightful. I appreciate them for doing this, of course, but it is kind of interesting to see their, you know, thought process on releasing maps and waiting to release other maps and remakes and stuff like that. Just very interesting stuff as a COD fan for almost a decade now. So let me know down below your opinions on this. Be sure to subscribe for more COD edited videos like this. Be sure to join the Discord down below. Kick for live streams. Links are all down below. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.